Over 100 members of Congress, including 18 Democrats, have signed a letter to the president. Their message: a military action in Syria without congressional approval is a violation of the Constitution. And joining me now, one of the signers of that letter, Representative Zoe Lofgren. And Representative, you said in a statement that you actually encourage people to read the War Powers Act before we move forward with a military response. So do you feel that because we weren't attacked by Syria, there's no imminent threat to our national security, that if we were to strike Syria, it would actually be unconstitutional?
It would violate the War Powers Act, but let me do a small correction. The numbers of signers on letters has grown today, and there are two letters in circulation, one by Congressman Rigel and one by Congresswoman Barbara Lee. They're different, but they both give the same message to the president, which is you need to come to Congress and get a vote to authorize action if you intend to take military action. And when you add up the signers from both letters, it's 265 members of Congress who have told the president that he is not permitted to act absent authorization from the Congress.
And there was another letter in addition to the two that you cited. There's Speaker John Boehner, who wrote a really lengthy letter, and he spelled out 14 different questions that he wants to see the president actually answer to the Congress and to the American people. But that letter, Congresswoman, it fell short of saying that Congress would need to actually take a vote. Is it your belief that Congress would actually have to take a vote under its Article I authority?
Not only is it my belief, President Obama, when he was running for president, said the same thing. A president may not initiate military action unless America has been attacked without a vote of the Congress. Then Senator Obama said that. Vice President Biden said the same thing and had a lengthy legal memorandum. And the law is clear. It's posted on my website. I'd invite people to read it. It's quite simple and it's quite clear. But aside from the legal requirement, there is a political requirement. The president apparently believes that some kind of military action should be taken. The American public doesn't agree. So he needs to make his case. We need to listen carefully to his arguments to understand why bombing Syria would be good for America, good for the world. What's the end game? We need, if we're going to do this, the American people need to be behind the action. And part of doing that is coming to Congress, the People's House, making your case, showing the evidence, and getting a vote.
And you know, I'm actually struck kind of by the historical parallels here. I mean, we had the Gulf of Tonkin resolution that kicked off the Vietnam War. We did have a vote to authorize military action that wound up putting us into Iraq, because Congress really has not been that assertive, to be honest, in asserting its war power authorities. We've had since then Libya and other actions. Do you feel that Congress just in general has ceded too much authority, not just to this president, but to presidents in general, on issues of war and peace?
I agree. Congress has been complicit in allowing the executive, including this one, but not just this one, to act without regard to the requirements of the Constitution and without regard to the War Powers Act. I think that that is not correct. It's not the right course of action. The fact that it's happened in the past doesn't mean at this juncture in our history that we shouldn't go back to what the law and Constitution requires. I think the country will be better off if we do. And there's a broad bipartisan consensus, way more than a majority in the House, that says the same thing. And
Congresswoman, just very briefly, give us your view of what should be done in Syria right now. What should the United States do? What should the president do? Well,
I'm skeptical about engaging in still another war in the Middle East, but because this is a serious question, I would intend to listen to the president, to evaluate his arguments, to look at his evidence. That's what we should do to take this seriously.
All right, Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, and thank you so much for watching.